Hi, how's it going? Today I'm gonna give you some tips about of preparing a solo piece with the Brazilian accent. This is applicable to to harmonic instruments, but melodic can use too. I've seen interesting pieces in melodic instruments or just on the bass, and the secret of this instrument, the solo instruments during a solo piece, is that they know some principles, some what I call pillars of the style they are playing. And I think when you want to make some solo piece, to play in your instrument, even piano, guitar, accordion, or any other instrument you are trying to create, is to know the rhythmic and sometimes the melodic layers of the style you are playing. For example, in the low part, samba and frevo uses the one and a lower note after to create the sensation of the surdo. That it's a bass drum that's played with an accent in the second tempo. For example, I recommend you to study these layers separately, because you're gonna work on the swing of them. When you already play hands together, you are losing attention of that element. So if you are working, for example, in a samba or a frevo, play just the line of the bass line. After that, you can create some, you can use some other layer, a higher layer, for example. You can work on them. Why do we have to work separately? Because if you study some percussive elements, most of the times, if you are just learning and studying for the first time, the pronounce of the percussive cell you are playing sometimes will have some mistakes in the execution. Let me give an example. A lot of times pianists try to do the grooves or the rhythmic cells of the different styles with some legato sound, and this loses the percussive characteristic. So it's important to play in a the staccato and respecting some accents that happen in different styles. To have this ability, you have to play them separately. Alright? Other thing I recommend you to do is to study the comping of that style. For example, before putting the melody, it's good to just play the comping, because I understand the solo play of a piece. Even when you're playing a piano solo piece or a saxophonist creating a solo piece, it's a reduction. You are showing just the main elements to create the sensation of a group, or to create the sensation of a lot of voices during playing the song. So it's interesting to play just the comping. So when you put the melody, you can identify the spaces to put the comping. For example, if I'm playing that samba melody, and if this would be, for example, a fiddle, this case of frevo, you have, I don't know, here in Brazil we call conventions, but we can say stop times. I don't know if this is the correct term, but for example in frevo it's common to make these stop times or conventions in the upbeat. For example, this is the original beat. Note. So I'm returning to the original rhythm, but this is very common in the language of frevo. Alright? In samba, for example, there is a convention that sorry. So this is a cliche often used in the language of samba. And if you have the vocabulary, you're gonna recognize the opportunities to play with this rhythm. Some styles have the melodic layers. For example, the choro, because you have one layer of playing the syncopations or variations of the syncopations. For example, and the bass is played by the 7-string guitar. If you heard some classes about choro, you're gonna remind this. So we can just study to how can I say, you can just study to explore these lines, all right? So you can, for example, I used all my attention to explore this melodic line on the bass. So when it's easier to do, you can mixture with the interactions of the other hand. That in this example I gave more life to my right hand. Let me think another style. When you're playing also some North Brazilian style, you're gonna have this opportunity of creating these different lines also. Use the blues form here. It's not common to play this blues form in Baião, but if you know a little about the style, there is something in common between these two styles, that is the use of dominant chords in place of the major chords. Now I explored some melodic line on the left hand, because people used to just study the left hand like some groove, and many times doesn't break the left hand. For example, in Baião you can make the left hand simpler and explore more of the beat, of the harmony. And when you have this ability, you can, after mixture, creating interest in both hands. So I'm exploring the different layers before creating the solo piece. To comp, it's it's a very interesting thing in Brazilian music, because you can explore the variations of these grooves, these different grooves, and you can put your attention on bass. You can put your attention in the second layer of the harmony. You can explore conventions, and you can break. So there is a entire universe of ideas in this case. The same things is applied to bossa nova. Explored the right hand, sometimes changing the rhythm, and sometimes the left hand, and I had some idea that it was double, like made exploring the arpeggios, starting from different grades in the right and the left hand. So when you explore these different layers, in some instruments you're gonna be capable of creating the synthesis of it. For example, in bossa nova I like to use this. The harmony part is on my fingers 1 and 2, and the other parts make the bass. Sometimes I use the third finger, but I'm exploring 2 different layers in just one hand. This will gonna give me the freedom to improvise and to create some melodies, and to play the melody with it. For example, I studied some ideas on the left hand, I can explore the rests of the melody to put these variations. For example, and how to create this independence between hands to play these ideas. It's important to know the rhythmic divisions that form itself. For example, in bossa nova we have the bass boom boom boom. It's on the downbeats, okay? Sometimes during with fifth, bum, bum, boom, and sometimes repeating itself. Bum, 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 bum. And we have the harmonic part that we hear this pattern. Pa, 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 pa. So I studied this a lot and in slow tempos to get this, and I created. I didn't create because I see some interesting pianists studying in this way, an exercise of the different and more known rhythmic cells. So you, for example, I choose just one chord. And one note per tempo. Two notes. Three notes. Four notes. It's the 16th notes. I have, after when I try to say I'm sorry, sometimes I commit some mistakes when I'm trying to do this independence exercise and trying to speak at the same time. But we have, for example, the 8th note with two 16th notes. And the opposite, two 16th notes with the 8th note. This reminds the song Summer Samba. So this rhythm is similar to the first step of the song, so I study it. And the most important of all is the syncopation. It's interesting that in the first beat of bossa nova, the syncopation sounds with the all the notes besides the first note, the other notes doesn't match with each other, and it creates an interesting swing because of this difference, rhythmic difference between the notes of the comping with the melody. It's very interesting. For example, notes are not matching with the other. This sounds gives us interesting swing to the melody. And this exercise won't give you the whole capability of playing any melody with the left hand, but it's gonna help a lot. Your hands will be more independent, and when you apply in a theme, you won't waste a lot of time, because you are already prepared to do a lot of different rhythms in one hand with other rhythms in the other hand. It's one interesting thing is that sometimes you are studying a piece and you have some difficult measure that you can join them. So you have to study just that measure. Most people try to save most people try to join the hands, starting the song from the beginning till the end. And like I said in another live about how to study, and I talk, you have to solve the problem. You have to understand what measure you are having problems in joining the hands and work on it. Alright. If you wanna start to study the improvise, you can try to create melodies with these different rhythmic cells. For example, with the a quarter note. Creating a melody, and you can do with 8 notes. And after that you can explore the 16 notes and the subdivisions, the different groupings of 16 notes. For example, and the same thing you can do with frevo and the other styles, gaining more confidence with just 5 notes going and returning. And after you gain this independence to do this as an exercise, you can try to create melodies inside the accent. For example, I'm capable of doing this because I've studied first the other elements in frevo. And when you did this job first, you can mixture the textures, the different textures. What else do I have? Just one I can say. I recommend you to search for to try to make a Brazilian piece, and if you have some difficulties of putting the rhythm with the melody, or to create a bass line, you can write on the comments, or you can send me also a message, and I'm gonna help you in this process of recognizing the style and just doing some exercise. Alright? So I think that's it. Thanks for watching. I'm very grateful with your audience. I'm very happy, and every day I'm here talking about how to play the Brazilian music with authenticity. And to do this, you need to know a lot of details, a lot of how we pronounce the sounds, what is important in one style, what it's important in different styles. And if you want to know more, here's the place. Every day, interesting content talking about the Brazilian accent improvisation. I hope you have enjoyed this, and see you tomorrow for more lives and quick tips. I'm Luciano Ruas, and thanks for watching, and bye bye.